Mark is with us. Mark is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hey, Mark, what's up?
Hey, Dave, great to be on the show. I appreciate you taking my call. It's an honor. You're doing a great service.
Thank you, sir. How can we help?
I have a daughter who is 15 and a half years old. She's going to be starting driver's ed here in the next couple weeks.
Yeehaw.
I'm in the market for a car for her. It's exciting and nerve-wracking, of course.
Yeah.
I'm in the market for a car for her, and the car that I'm looking at is fairly expensive. It's about a $14,000 car. I can afford it, so that's not an issue. I can pay cash, and that's not going to be a problem. But I've never done this before, and $14,000 just seems like a lot of money for a car for a teenage girl. And am I being crazy here? Do I need to be shopping for a $5,000 car instead, just to kind of start her off on the right foot as far as showing her how to value shop for a car? I mean, the idea here is I want to buy a car that's going to last forever. I want all-wheel drive because I'm in Michigan, and I want a good, reliable car. But I don't know. That just seems like a lot of money, and I thought nobody knows better than Dave, so let me give him a call.
But you're right about that, Mark. I'm not in those shoes yet. My kids are little.
What'd you pay for your first one when you were a teenage girl?
I think it was like $15,000.
$1,000?
I think my mom.
Oh, wow.
That's what Mom got for me.
Was that on payments?
No.
It paid cash for it.
She paid cash for it.
She went big.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
It's funny, though, because it's like, it's when you think about you do want something safe, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be, I don't think, $5,000 or $15,000. Like, I think you could find a middle range if that felt like too much money to you for whatever reason. You know, one of the things that you talk about, Dave, is how you did it with your kids. And Rachel and I are very good friends, so she's talked about it from the daughter's perspective of having a skin in the game when she helped pay for her car, but she treated her car differently because she had to pay for part of it. And I think there's something to that, regardless of the amount of money, where you take care of it, you value it. It doesn't just feel like, you can just, be careless with it. So I don't know. I mean. Yeah,
Mark, what we did was they paid whatever they saved up, we would match it. We had 401 Dave.
I'm going to do that with my kids, Mark. I'm serious. So I love this plan.
In Rachel's case, she saved up $6,000 and she got a $12,000 little 323 Beamer, which was a pretty sweet little car, actually. Not a bad first car at all. And but she had saved up half of that, and I matched it. You're late in the game to start that process because you're on the cusp of buying the thing. Does your daughter have any money to put some skin in the game? To Christy's point.
She does. Frankly, I don't have her work too much. In my house, we really prioritize education and doing well in school. Working at this point, not quite as much. I mean, that's going to come, and they do work. They do work some. But even when they do, there's not a whole lot of money necessarily involved. I mean, if I can have them doing, volunteering and working here at home, I'm okay with that because money is not as much a concern, at least for me.
Yeah.
So I guess the short answer is no, they don't have much in the way of savings.
Okay. Well, you need to do something emotionally so that when her friend drops a McDonald's large Coca-Cola in the passenger seat, that she cringes.
You could have her even just pay for insurance, Mark, where if she speeds, gets a speeding ticket, that insurance goes up, she's paying for the insurance. She could work a day or two a month and make enough money to cover insurance.
There's something very valuable about having some skin in the game. Overall, obviously, just in talking to you, you're making a lot of money. You got a lot of money. This is not an issue. It's not out of control. I do tell people that it's whatever kid car you get as your first one, you're going to screw it up. I mean, you're going to destroy it.
Yeah, it's not going to be a forever car. I think he said that. Out of your head.
That's a joke. That's not even good. They didn't make it halfway through college with their first cars. Yeah. But four-wheel drive in your area, I don't have a problem with that. Something reliable, I don't have a problem with that. Something safe, I don't have a problem with that. You can get all of those things for a lot of different price ranges. But you've got the money. It's not a problem. But I'm more concerned with with her posture towards the car than I am the actual expense of it. And I mean, we live in a neighborhood where people buy 16-year-olds, $35,000 BMWs because they're brain damaged. Now that's stupid. Okay, and I would just call you on that. But what you're describing is not out of line. It's not out of line with what we did, and it was a few years ago that we did it. I'm going to send you a copy of Rachel and #1 best-selling book, Smart Money, Smart Kids, which is how we taught. Rachel and I wrote it together. It was a #1 bestseller. Her from the daughter perspective, me from the dad perspective. It's how we taught our kids how to handle money, and it discusses this car thing a lot in there. So, like I said, it was a #1, and I'll send it to you. I think you'll enjoy it. You may pick up a couple of points. Nothing you're doing there is wrong. We teach in that book that regardless of whether they have to or not, our job as parents is to train children, as our friend Andy Andrews says, not to be good kids, but to be great adults. In order to do that with money, they need to have 4 skills. They need to know how to work. And so I don't think your daughter's working enough. I would have her doing more work just because I want to teach her to work. And you worked.
Yep.
Rachel worked.
Yep.
Neither one of you had to, from a standpoint your parents weren't broke or something
Right.
like that. Work, give, save, and spend wisely. Spend wisely, give wisely, save wisely, and work wisely, and learn to do all those things. And you're not doing those things because they create a lot of money, but because I want you to build those muscles.
It's the habits. It's the I have to be on time, and if not, I have a boss to report to. You know, Dave, before I worked here, I worked with the YMCA. I had a staff of teenagers. I would have sometimes the mom call me and tell me, Johnny's sick. I'm like, Johnny needs to call. This is Johnny's job. You learn these
Helicopter
these
mom.
These skills for life. It's not about the paycheck. It's about the skills for life.
Johnny's gonna be late. Was Johnny's little cell phone not working?
I was like, Johnny's gonna call me.
Oh, yeah. Bust little Johnny. That'd be, yeah. But that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's really good stuff. That's a funny story. Interesting article out there right now. The share of American young adults living with their parents is the highest in 75 years. Parents in the U.S. cannot get rid of their kids. The share of young adults in their late 20s living with their parents is the highest in 75 years. According to a recent study, Pew Research, 33%, 1 in 3, 25 to 29-year-olds live with their parents or grandparents. 3 times as many as in 1970. So here, let me help you with this, Mom and Dad. An eagle that doesn't leave the nest is what's known as a turkey. You are not blessing your children by supporting them when they're over 25 years old. Now, could Mom and Dad be a safety net? Yes. But a hammock is ridiculous. There's a difference between a hammock and a safety net. And these statistics indicate hammock. So I will tell you, as the proud father of 3 productive young adults, married to 3 productive young adults, all older than 25, that it does them great good emotionally and spiritually when they leave home. When they have to buy their own food and cook it or go to a restaurant and get some, it's good for them. When they have to pay their own electric bill, it is good for them. When they have to pay their own freaking rent, it is good for them. Now, I'm not talking about someone being homeless or having a health problem or coming out of an abusive divorce and they need to come home and heal for a little while. That's a safety net, and all of that is fine. I would never tell you to not love your children and care for them. I care for my children. If one of my children has a serious problem, I've got a big old house, they can come there for a while. But I do not want to be their serious problem. I want to be the solution to their serious problem, which is a safety net, not a hammock. You are being enablers. And the problem is you have 1/3 of the people in their 20s that are emotionally stunted, is what we're saying. They have not developed into full-grown emotional adults. And let me just tell you, if you're offended by that because you're 26 and you live in your mommy's basement, good, I'm talking to you. My goal here is to piss you off. Be a man. Be a woman. Grow a backbone. Walk out there and be somebody. It's good for you. You will have dignity that you do not have in mommy's basement. Fold your own freaking underwear or don't, but it's your underwear. Your mommy shouldn't be washing it when you're freaking 27 years old. It's absurd, you guys. Now, again, I will distinguish one more time before I start getting all this idiot hate mail from some of you people. You don't like millennials. I love millennials. I've got a whole bunch of 24 to 29-year-olds working here that are absolutely excellent young people. Absolute incredible. Some of the best workforce I've ever seen in my life are the millennials. The good ones. The bad ones, you can't pry the participation trophy out of their little fingers. And they're sitting around waiting on someone to affirm them. Well, you don't get affirmed when you don't do nothing. There's a reason we respect the winner and give them a trophy, is because they did something the loser didn't do. I've won some, I've lost some. You've won some, you've lost some. Get up off your butt and get out of mommy's basement. Come on, dads. Where are you? Now, I'm not suggesting you need to be mean to your children, unkind to your children, nasty with your children or anything like that. But I'm just telling you, you're a straight up codependent enabler when you have a 27-year-old living in your basement because he won't go get a job in an economy that's white hot and there's a labor shortage in most areas right now. You can get construction work if you can walk out the back door in almost any city in America right now. Oh, it's hard work. Yeah, I noticed that. I've done it. And you know what hard back-breaking work will do? And make you read a book so you don't have to do hard-working, back-breaking work the rest of your life. You know? And maybe you can even learn to say it. Which apparently I can't. This is absurd, you guys. 33%. That means if you line up all the 25 to 29-year-olds in a row, 1/3 of them are at home. Some percentage of that is, well, they have just a crippling student loan debt. Wah. They call in here every day having overcome their crippling student loan debt. They stand here in our lobby and do debt-free screams having overcome it. But they didn't overcome it because they were in mommy's basement. They overcame it because they took 6 jobs and worked their tail end off and quit sitting around whining about how entitled they are for the culture to take care of them. And the reason they think they're that, the reason they're entitled like that, is because they sit in your basement. You are not doing your kids a favor. Now, our kids came out of college. One was married by the time she got out of college, which I never thought would happen, but worked out perfect. One never moved into our house, moved straight into a rental. And one moved into our house for about 3 months until they got the roommates lined up and the other stuff. So after college, I have a total between 3 kids of 3 months of them being with us. Again, if something had happened and there was a health problem or a dramatic economic problem, laziness is not a dramatic economic problem, by the way, a dramatic economic problem, if there's something along those lines, then we would have said, okay, you can stay here until you get your feet under you. But we're not going to sit here and enable you to not, I can't find a job. Well, you haven't left the front of the Nintendo. Of course you can't find a job. You're sitting there looking at the stupid TV. You're watching all those HBO channels I pay for. This has got to stop, you guys. This boomerang generation, they call it. They leave and then they come back. You throw them out and they come back. That's what a boomerang does. And it is damaging the economics of our culture. It is damaging their spiritual walk. They have no dignity. You are not doing them a favor. Well, they're not bothering anything. Yet you're not doing them a favor. They're soft. And again, you don't have to be some kind of tough guy or mean or nasty. I was never unkind to our children as they were leaving. They didn't leave because they had a toxic situation at home. They left because they wanted to have the dignity of being an adult. You cannot do that in mommy's basement. You can't. Now, I talk to people on the air here. They're 32 years old and went through an abusive marriage, and they've come back home, and they've got a little baby, and they're trying to get their feet back under them, a single mom. Hey, do that. Take care of them. Love them well for a period of time. But if they come back home and they're 32, in an abusive marriage and have a little baby, by the time they're 37, they should be gone. Again. Even in that situation. It's a safety net. It's not a hammock. Any turkey that doesn't leave the nest, any eagle that doesn't leave the nest is eventually known as a turkey. Look it up. This is why you teach children how to handle money, so they have some. That's why we wrote the book Smart Money, Smart Kids, how to teach your kids how to handle money so they leave. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Today's question comes from Jim in Florida. I'm struggling in giving recently because I have plans that I need to accomplish, buy a house and get my small business off the ground. I am a generous person, but I feel like I'm being cheap when it comes to giving, or when my wife gets to get something for her friends or sister. I don't feel good, while deep inside I know that I am. I'm kind of confused if I'm changing to a jerk and a selfish person, but honestly, I'm doing it for my family, so I need some help. Jim. I think that there's a reality that when you have your bases covered in your home and with your family, and the needs are provided for, it allows that generosity to flow even greater with maybe not as much stress. But this doesn't sound like it's I need to take care of my family first. I mean, yes, you want to be able to buy a house for sure, get my small business off the ground, but this, I would say too though, Jim, that giving, it doesn't have to be extravagant. And so starting to give a little until you can give a lot, right? Like if there are things in your life that you're wanting to do, we all have that, but that doesn't mean you can't do both, is what I would say.
Yeah. It sounds like that the what's bothering you more than the actual giving to the sister or to the friends or whatever by your wife is that it feels like that's blocking these other goals, and it's not. That's the reality. So the way you can overcome that is just budget for it. Just say, we're going to put a line item in the budget, you and your wife, we agree on our entire budget, but we're going to agree on this is the amount that your wife has for friends and sister. And don't go over that. And then you can use the rest of the budget and see that you are able to accomplish your goals of doing stuff in the business or saving up for a home or whatever. You'll see that if you budget $100 or something, it's not going to keep you from doing those other things. But this idea that it's not got any limits on it, and you're not in agreement when she's doing these things, that's where the rub is. So if you were in agreement and it had a reasonable limit, and you were in agreement on the limit, on the amount that your wife has for these two activities, sister and friends or whatever you want to call it, then you'd be okay with it. But it's just the ambivalence of it that is that's probably throwing you, because you're obviously a person who plans. But this is not something. It doesn't make you a bad person to say I'm going to accomplish some goals. That's not a bad person. Now, what we do teach and have taught from the very beginning around Ramsey, and I think it's good to get into this a little bit, is you want a baseline of giving that is your normal rhythm in your life every month. And then you have, when you are prospering and you've got extra money above that normal budgeted giving that's just flying around, and you have a choice between buying, another thingy and doing some generosity, then you can change and do some generosity with that surplus money, that extra money that's from prospering. But when you're first starting out, we teach people to limit their giving to their baseline normal giving. Now, for those of us that are Christians, evangelical Christians, we teach and believe within our faith to give a tithe, a tenth of our income, to your local church. That's your baseline. That's your normal rhythm of giving. You don't stop doing that. And above the tithe is called offerings, and all throughout Scripture, offerings come from surplus, from prospering. And so they would come after you're out of debt, after you've taken care of your own household. And so this idea that you're supposed to give away the rent money and your kids become homeless because you were generous, that's absurd. and it's not scriptural for those of you that are Christians, by the way. Take care of your own household first, or you're worse than an unbeliever. That's scriptural, and that's not lacking in generosity. It doesn't make you a bad person. Quite the opposite. It makes you a good person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we start with taking care of our house. Then we can expand and say, we're going to take care of people outside of our house. And then we can expand and say, we're going to change our family tree. And then we can expand and say, let's change our whole community. But that all comes from the surplus above the normal rhythm of giving. And I think you need to put a rhythm of giving, Jim, in your budget for your wife to have some freedom without being worried about you being upset about it. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I'm 25 years old, and I have a lot of debt, and I'm basically trying to figure out what's the best way to tackle that and overcome it. From credit cards, cars, and I'm in a situation where I was thinking about purchasing a house, but I don't think that is the best financial decision. So I just want to see if you guys can help me out with that.
We agree. Let's get you out of debt first. So walk Rachel through your debt. Go smallest to largest for us.
Okay. Yeah. So going small to largest. So I have 6 credit cards, totaling to about $65,000 in total credit card debt, with the smallest minimum monthly payment roughly about $51 a month. Then the next credit card is about $123 a month. The next 3 are all about $10,000 a piece, and they're about $200
that you owe on
a
them.
month.
The last 3.
Yes. The last 3. So I owe $5,000 on the first one.
Okay.
I owe $7,000 on the second one. The next 3 after that, I owe $10,000 a piece.
Okay.
So a total of $30,000. And then the last one, I actually owe $25,000 on.
Okay, what were these for, Antonio? What were you racking up this debt for?
Hey, George here with a quick interruption. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, would your family know where to find your life insurance policy, your will, even your Netflix password? Well, Knockbox solves that. It's a kit that organizes your financial accounts, estate plans, and everything your family would need all in one place. That way they don't have to hack into your laptop or locate some long-lost thumb drive. So leave them a legacy, not a scavenger hunt with Knockbox. Ramsey fans get the best discount available at knockbox.com/Ramsey. That's knockbox.com/Ramsey.
What were these for, Antonio? What were you racking up this debt for?
So basically, so my job profession, I'm actually a finance manager, ironically, at an RV dealership. So, when COVID happened, I was making crazy good money. So, even sometimes upwards of $30,000 a month. So I had just got into the, building credit, and I just seen it as, okay, if I don't mind spending $10,000 because I could just pay that back. And I did that for a couple months, and then, the times have changed, pay changed a little bit, pay's still good, but it just got to the point where the interest was just so high to the point where anything over the minimum payment was just ridiculous. I mean, the minimum payment right now is anywhere from,
but you're spending money on lifestyle is what these credit cards are.
Initially, and they have been maxed out for about 3 years. I've just paid the bare minimum, and I'll be quite frank, I'll pay the bare minimum, and that little bit I pay, I might spend it again, not because I need it, but it's just like, I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel to get these things paid off.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's the credit cards. How much do you owe on your car?
I have three cars. I owe $35,000 on my truck. I owe $31,000 on my EV, my Mustang Mach-E, and I owe $16,000 on my girlfriend's SUV.
Okay, hold on.
Wow, Antonio,
you financed a car for your girlfriend?
Yeah, I purchased one for her yesterday. Yeah, I did.
Wow, I feel like you watched The Wolf of Wall Street and just decided to try to do your own version here. This is crazy.
So that's sort of, believe it or not, kind of what what my life was and kind of what I aimed to be.
That's why I chose it. That's why I chose the metaphor.
Okay, what else, Antonio? What other debt do you have?
So I also have a boat, but I've paid that pretty low, so I only owe about $8,000 on the boat. And I do have an RV, a fifth wheel, that I owe about $26,000.
Of course, that makes total sense because you got such a good deal on that. How much money are you making right now? What's your bring home every month?
So I gross anywhere from $15,000 to $17,000 a month. My bring home is anywhere from $9,000 to $10,000, give or take.
I mean, you are really with all these.
How are you making it, Antonio?
It's unfortunate. It's just one of those things that I thought, okay, I'm making money. I can spend more money. I mean, and then also, I do have 4 children, and I do pay rent, which is roughly about $2,350. Then you got utilities, water, camera.
You didn't answer her question. We're trying to help you, and this is the part where we're now going to try to help you dig out, and you can do this. But how are you making it month to month? Do you have any left over at all?
Oh, no. Actually,
and you're going into credit card debt still.
Yeah. So honestly, I have anywhere from $500 to $1,000 left over at the end of every month, and that's if I'm lucky.
Yeah. All right. So can we just do real quick? I want to know if we have any equity in any of these vehicles.
Yeah. What the $35,000 truck?
Do you have any equity?
No, that's the main one that I'm flipped upside down on. It's
if you sold it today, what would you sell it for? What could you sell it for?
Maybe $21,000 or $22,000.
Okay, are you just guessing, or did you Kelly Blue Book this?
No, I've Kelly Blue Booked it.
Okay. What about the Mustang?
The Mustang, I probably am upside down about $1,000 or $2,000 on it. I could probably sell it for $29,000.
Okay, and then girlfriend's car. Are you the only one on the loan, or did you co-sign for her, or what was the situation there?
No, I'm the only one on every loan I mentioned.
Okay, and what could you sell her car for?
That one I probably could sell. I could probably make it $3,000 on that one. I could possibly sell that one for about $18,000 or $19,000. All
right, perfect. Okay, so the cars are the easy. Oh yeah, the boat.
What do you owe on the boat?
He owes $8,000. What could you sell for?
Sorry, what's it worth? I'm so confused right now.
So the boat is worth about $15,000.
All right, sell that today.
Perfect.
Sell the boat today.
Yeah, sell the boat today.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So because then you'll have $7,000. Hey, Anthony, here's gonna be your issue, Anthony. Your ego is about to really be hit hard. Like this is all. Yeah. This is ego. 3 cars, boat, RV, credit card debt, living like you're just the fill in the blank. And you're not. Yeah. So there's a reality here, Anthony, that the humility pill that you're going to have to swallow to truly change this around is going to be really big. And that's the part about personal finance that's so difficult, is like the math stuff. We can walk through that. But there is a character part of you, Anthony, that's going to deeply, deeply have to change. Like you caring about what people think has been very high in your life. And this is about to do the complete opposite. Like you are going to be... You're not going to be the man anymore. I mean, like, do you know what I'm saying? But there's an ego level, and I'm saying that kindly because we all have a level of an ego. But man, it's going to be tough.
So here's the deal: is the RV? Can you sell more, make more on that than the 26 you owe?
The RV, I can break even. I mean,
okay, listen. You got to sell the RV.
All this
you
stuff.
Sell the boat. You sell the girlfriend's car too
today.
Because I don't care how lovely she is. She gets her own car. It's not your problem.
Yeah, and Antonio, take your payment for the RV, the boat, her car, and the Mustang. All those payments, that's thousands of dollars. Yeah. Now that you can sell the truck, start paying off these credit cards, smallest to largest. But man, it's going to be it's about to be a 180 in your life, Antonio. But it has to be in order for something to change. And I feel the stress on you. So man, you got to make some big changes.
Create your free every dollar budget today. The simplest way to budget for your life. All right, let's go to Kevin in Los Angeles. Hi, Kevin. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave. Just a quick question. When choosing a mutual fund, how much weight should I give ratings from websites like Morningstar.com? So, for instance, I was looking at 2 different mutual funds, and their performance over the past 10 years, one of them looked like it had been doing slightly better than the other. but Morningstar gave it 3 stars where the other had 5 stars. Should I factor that in when choosing?
Morningstar's rating is risk adjusted, and so they're pulling up the beta, the volatility of the fund, and adjusting on that. Probably that's how they used to do it. I haven't subscribed to them in a long time. When I was back when I was in the business, and then when I first started on the radio, I kept Morningstar on my computer before there was an internet. We used to get CD-ROM updates quarterly on them. And so they're an old rating system. They've been rating mutual funds a long time. But if I remember correctly, they're risk adjusted, and that may explain it. If you'll go pull what's called the beta is the statistical measure of risk. And you'll probably find that 3-star has a higher beta, that to get to a slightly better rate of return, it went through higher peaks and lower valleys. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that does make sense.
I'm guessing, but I'll bet you that's what you find.
Yeah, it looked like the other things that were factoring in were things like how often the fund manager shifted and stuff like that. So, like, not just volatility in the market of the fund, but like the volatility of the management of the fund.
They would look at that as well. That does make sense. So it could be that in addition to the beta. Now, here's the thing: if you're looking at fund volatility based on management, there's more and more of the funds have gone to a team management style rather than a singular rock star manager. That way they're not as dependent on that one guy for their future returns. In other words, if you had a history of 10 years of great returns and it was a rock star manager model, not a team model managing it, and the rock star guy leaves, well, the track record kind of leaves with him, right? But if you've got a team model and 2 of the 15 people running the fund that are the brains causing the return to happen over the last 10 years leave, well, you probably can say that history is probably valid for projecting into the future, common sense wise anyway. And so a lot of the funds have gone away from rock star managers for that reason, and they've gone to team management because that validates their historical returns that way into the future and can project them into the future. But you can just look at that. I'll glance at that kind of stuff. I am mainly looking at the track record, and is there some reason that the track record isn't valid because the whole team left, or there's a complete turnover in style or a philosophy shift in the management or something like that? Unless there's something that invalidates the track record, I'm spending like 85% of my issue when I'm picking a fund on track record. I'll look at the volatility, I'll look at the other stuff, I'll look at the expense ratios, I'll look at all the other stuff, but it's a very small percentage of how much time I spend on that kind of thing. And Kevin, I'll tell you one other thing. The fact that you're asking these questions means you're going to win. And let me give you the reason why. There's a group of actuarial nerds that studies retirement stuff, and it's like 17 initials. I can't remember the name of it, but I was looking at one of their studies not long ago, and they found that 78% of the predictive reason for someone becoming wealthy using an investment is savings rate. Now, let me translate that. What that means is 78% of the way you can predict whether someone makes a bunch of money in an investment is if they actually invest. That's what that means.
No. How expensive was that study? Jeez.
And the point being, though, that this group of nerds figured out that, this nuanced stuff of a beta or an expense ratio or team versus rock star
doesn't matter. Put money into a retirement account.
If you just will freaking do it, you're just like going to win, okay? I mean, compared to the people who overanalyze and don't do anything, right? And so you don't get caught up in paralysis of the analysis, Kevin. Get her done, baby. That's the moral of the story. So I spend a certain amount of time in looking at this stuff, and if one of them starts tanking on me, I may move it, but I'm just putting it in there.
Yeah.
When in doubt, swing the bat, or you ain't gonna hit the ball. This is like rock. It's just the funniest thing I ever read, because people in the business, they all get mad at Dave Ramsey because he's too primitive and he doesn't actually understand, doesn't have the intellect to grasp all of the nuances of the investing world. Yeah, obviously I don't. But the truth is, 78% has to do with whether you actually did it.
I saw that the other day. Someone was asking some fitness people, "What's the best workout? What's the best workout?" And finally, one guy snapped and said, "Anyone that you will do. That's the best one.
The one you don't quit doing.
Just keep doing it.
The one that you don't quit doing.
Get in the game."
Yeah.
I mean, this is some genius advice we're doling out here, man.
Thank you for joining us, America. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. We're glad you are here. Dean is with us in Clarksville. Hi, Dean. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the call.
Sure. How can I help?
First off, thank you for what you're doing. You've done a lot for my wife and I in our financial aspect of life.
Good.
I am 25 years old. My wife is 23.
Mm-hmm.
We're making about $30,000 a year, and following your principles, we're debt-free except for $32,000 on our home.
I'm sorry, you said $3,000. You're making what? $30,000?
We're making $30,000
a year.
per year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I said we're debt-free except for $32,000 on our home.
Okay, good. Cool.
We're also wanting to save $10,000 to $15,000 somewhere around there for a car.
Mm-hmm.
And the main question that I have, I've been working for my dad since I was 14 in general construction, and I'd like to start flipping houses. Mm-hmm. So my question is, how do I get started in that?
Okay. Well, let's back up one step. If you're making $32,000, I probably wouldn't have $15,000 tied up in a car, if that's your household income, because you don't want more than half your annual income tied up in things that are going down in value, which is cars. So I'd probably back the budget down on the car a little bit. But then back to your flipping houses question. As you know, you said you've been following some of our stuff. I don't borrow money, and I teach people not to borrow money. So that means flipping houses is a little difficult from your situation, because you'd have to be going into debt to do it, obviously. And I'm not going to set you up for that. It's actually how I went broke when I was your age. I was flipping houses, and I had $3 million in debt on house flips, and the bank got sold to another bank. They called our notes, and it took 2.5 years for me to lose everything I owned. I don't want to put you on that gravy train. The gravy's not good. So, I just don't want that plan for you. So instead, what I would tell you to do is this. One is, if you have the ability to find a house cheap enough that you could flip it and make money on it, then you have the ability to tie that house up and sell it to another investor that does have money. And so I actually made good money doing that after I went broke. I had no credit and I had no money because I had gone through bankruptcy, but I did know how to dig up a deal, and I had been doing that. So I would find a property in foreclosure, for instance. I'll make up some numbers. Let's say I found a $50,000 house in foreclosure and I could buy it for $21,000. I did this a lot. And I would write a contract with the owner to buy the house in the next 5 days for $21,000, subject to my partner's agreement, contingent upon my partner's agreement. And then I would go and talk to real estate investors that I knew that wanted a house of that type and sell it to them. And maybe I had 21 was the contract, but I might sell it to them for 26, which is still a great deal on a $50,000 house. But I'm making $5,000 on the spread on the contract, and I paid nothing. I didn't pay up. I never bought it. I just sold the contract, sold the position, and then another investor went in and bought it. Now, one of the reasons you're wanting to flip houses is because you know how to do construction, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and that plan that I just outlined doesn't involve you doing any construction. What you've got to be careful of in the house flipping business when you do construction is you don't want to buy a house, go into debt, and you go in there with your sweat and fix the house up and then only make wages that you would have made working for somebody else fixing their house up. So, if you go to work for somebody doing a remodel job, they'll pay you to do that, right? And you'll make a profit, and you don't have to go in debt to work for, Joe and fix up Joe's house over here. He'll pay you, your construction costs plus a profit. And if you don't make your wages plus a profit that you would have made on a regular job, plus make money on the investment, then you didn't really make money on the house flip. You just are buying a house so you have a remodel job. And you can get remodel jobs without buying houses. You can get them for other people. So make sure you're not just paying yourself out wages when you're doing your own work like that. I know a lot of guys that swing a hammer and know how to use a paintbrush that have fooled themselves into thinking they're making money on the houses, and really all they're making money is on the remodel. And if you're not making more than you would have made doing the remodel for somebody else, then you don't need to be doing the house deal. And they'll say, oh, well, I can go in and I can fix it up for X or Y. Yeah, well, you're not counting any profit on your remodel job. And you would have made that profit had you been working for somebody else on a remodel job. So make sure you don't make that mathematical mistake in your estimates on your business plan on your flips. So I would start out just doing some flips and get some money piled up that you didn't own, like I was talking about. And then once you get some money piled up, and if you want to do some side remodel jobs for some people, do that. And if you want to start working for some real estate investors, do that. Or maybe you go in with somebody that's a real estate investor and they give you a piece of the profit in return for you doing the remodel, and they buy the house with their money. And that way you're not in debt. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat rather than you just going down the bank and borrowing money to flip houses, which is a really good way to go bankrupt. Not just because I did it, but because a whole lot of people flip this house has bankrupt more people than just about any other program out there. And it's just not as easy as it looks. And so you get in there and actually do some flips, do some other stuff, and learn the business. And then when you've actually got real money that you put into the deal, you'll do a lot better deals because you'll have some experience under your belt.
Hey guys, Rachel Cruz here. Hope you enjoyed that video from the Dave Ramsey Show. If you want to watch another great video, check out my video, 3 Things You Should Consider Renting, right over here, or click the link in the description below.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Hi, Leona. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm great. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so I'm calling because I am pretty newly married. Not my first rodeo. And but one of the things I made a mistake of is not doing my financial background check on my new spouse. And so October, we got married in May. In October, I realized that we are close to $1 million in debt. And
wait a minute, slow down a minute. Wait a minute, stop. I got lost in this already. I want to make sure I'm with you. So you're how old?
I am 45.
Okay, and you've been married before.
I have.
You said not first rodeo. Okay. So you met a guy and you married him, and you said it was a mistake to not do a background check.
No, a financial check. Like
with
you
him,
didn't have
or?
Conversations about money, is what you're saying.
I didn't check to see what kind of debt ratio.
Did you ask him?
No.
Oh, okay. So you just kind of walked in blindly. He thought you didn't care. Turns out you cared. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got it. And
what
so
kind of
you've
debt?
been married for how long?
For about 9 months.
Okay. And then you woke up one morning and decided to ask, or he decided to tell you what happened?
I wanted to quit my job. And so in that, I asked him if that was possible. We went back and forth. I said, I really need to see the budget, assuming he kept one. And I found out there that he didn't keep a budget. But when I started pulling things together, finding about 17 credit cards, I realized there's no way. And he was heavily reliant on my income as well to pay.
How was he making it before you were married?
As a bachelor, he was just a heavy spender, and so
if he couldn't make it without your salary now, how was he making it without your salary before you were married?
Right. He bought a $500,000 house.
Since you were married?
After we were married. I think my name is not on the title or on the.
Since you got married. When did he buy the $500,000 house?
August it closed, so we were married when.
So you're married. You bought a house. Okay, you were aware you were buying a house.
I was.
So $500,000 is owed on the house, and you said there's $1 million. What's the other $500,000?
There's another house that he had. It's a $300,000 home. Just that we have it as a rental right now.
What's owed on it?
$330.
Okay. So
did you not know about the rental?
No, I did.
You just didn't think about it. All right. So $830.
Well, yeah, it was just moved.
$830,000. And now what's the other $200,000 in debt?
He has a HELOC loan, and some medical debt, and then about almost $200,000 in credit card.
Okay. And so what's your question?
I mean, how do I not murder him?
It's not his fault. It's yours.
You didn't ask.
I know.
Well, he doesn't get murdered. You might, but he doesn't.
Right.
I mean, you walked around acting like nothing's happening, and he just assumed it was all okay. He's living his life like just happy as he can be, happy as a little old clown, and then you came along, wanted to quit your job, and he couldn't do it. So you're the one that didn't do anything. I mean, he's got a mess. There's no question about that. We don't need to murder him. Does he want to clean this up?
So far, he's been doing everything. We have a Financial Peace University coach right now who's helping us untangle a lot of things. And
great. So both houses are for sale?
No.
Well, they need to be.
Okay.
Y'all are broke people.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing there's a little bit of equity in these houses you can use to clean up this stupid butt credit card mess. This guy spends like he's in Congress.
Hey, by the way, what do you guys earn? What's the income between the two of you?
$200,000.
Okay. You can dig through it pretty quick then. You might even get to keep the house you're living in, but the rental needs to go immediately.
Yeah.
And that's where the HELOC's laying too, right?
I think the HELOC is on the new house, but our coach and I are both confused about that. It's just messy.
Okay. And so number one, the two of you, next time you meet with the coach, you have to raise your right hand and swear before the judge, I promise to never do anything with money ever again without my spouse knowing it. Both of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Both of you. You do not have the right to act surprised after this point, up to this point, because you walked into it begging for a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And but now from today on, he doesn't make any moves anymore because he's really not good with money. Mm-hmm. We really can't trust his judgment. He really sucks at this.
And honestly, you're lucky that he agreed to go through Financial Peace and has the wherewithal to want to change it.
Yeah.
You got lucky there.
Yeah, I think you guys get on a beans and rice budget. You sell the rental, follow what the coach is telling you. You may have to sell the big house. You may not. How much you owe on your stupid cars?
So that's messy. His wife passed, and there are two vehicles. There's one vehicle in her name and a motorhome in her name. And so
was the debt in her name?
Yes.
Okay. But he kept the rest of the estate too, right? Yeah. So it's not messy. Yeah. Both of those need to get sold yesterday. Did he not probate a will or probate the estate?
No, he didn't. He just actually told the bank like 2 weeks ago that she passed away 2 years ago. So the
He just now told the bank that she passed away.
Yeah. So the bank is pretty upset right now. So because he's had the stuff in possession for 2 years. So.
Okay. So this level of denial and deception that he has lived his whole life in has to change or your marriage is not going to work. And this level of not bothering to ask and walking around with your head stuck in the clouds the way you do it, that has to change or your marriage is not going to work. So the two of you have to commit to a clean, clear way of living where we're not deceiving each other or anyone else. All right? And you can get these two cars sold. And do you have any debt on the two cars you guys are driving?
Well, the HELOC somehow has his truck wrapped into it.
No, it doesn't. It just used the HELOC to buy the truck. That's all.
Okay.
But so how expensive is his truck?
I think it was like $18,000 that he paid. He told me he paid off. But
that's not too bad. I'm not sure I believe it though. All right. So yeah, you guys just got to dig in, clean all the, get all the tangles out of the hair, get everything straight, and then decide what you're going to cut. How much hair you're going to have left after you finish this haircut. And then you got to be clean with each other and everybody else. Quit hiding stuff, both of you. Wow, what a mess, girl. Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Today's question comes from Meredith in Wisconsin. I'm 27 years old and trying my best to do the baby steps so I can buy a house with as little debt as possible. But I feel like in today's market, it's nearly impossible to find a decent house that's affordable. How can I accelerate my savings to buy the house I really want that's currently outside of my budget? This is a tough one, Rachel. There's a lot of people, especially in their 20s and 30s, frustrated right now with how the housing market has been the last few years, and with wages not increasing at that rate, they're going, this isn't fair. Now the average house is $400,000 and I'm making 30, 40, 50. How am I ever going to save up a down payment in order to get the house that I really want?
Yep. Well, I think that's the phrase there. It's what I want, right? And so it's not always about what you want, it's what you can afford. Even if it's not a lot, and it does. Like it sucks that you look back and you're like, if in 2019 it was a different world, and here we are in 2022, and it's not that prices have significantly dropped. It's slowed down. The market has, which is great for buyers. You have a little bit more room for negotiation and all of that, but it's still a lot of places have still held that value even when it spiked up. So, I feel like I'm going to sound cold, George.
No.
Usually that's your role.
Usually it's me. I'm very happy
usually
about
you're
this.
the one to do this.
Take note, America.
But I'm like, but what sucks is like math doesn't care.
Heartless,
Math
Rachel.
doesn't have emotion. And so we can sit and complain about it because it does suck. Like, I mean, yeah. But if you just sit there and complain, then what else are you going to do? So you have to be able to say, okay, here's the reality. Here's the reality. I'm not going to be able to buy in that county that I wanted to right now. I'm going to have to, go 20 minutes further out than I was expecting to get that kind of house. Or I'm going to have to stay in the area I want to buy in, but my house is going to be significantly smaller than what I was expecting. And so, again, that's not fun. None of it. You want what you want. But when the numbers aren't there, you have to deal with, okay, where are the numbers playing out for me if I really want to buy a home? And I mean, it's not fun, but that's the truth. That's what you have to do because it's not going to be a great thing. Being a homeowner, it's wonderful. And we want everyone eventually to, because it's a really smart place to put your money financially. But it also is so emotionally driven sometimes for people that they jump in without, doing the due diligence of having a secure foundation of not having payments, not having debt, having an emergency fund, being wise as they get into it, making sure, again, even what they're buying isn't out of their budget. And it's hard, but it's what you got to do now.
Oh, yeah. It makes me think of that old adage, cheap, fast, or good. You can only choose two.
Oh.
If you want it cheap and fast, we can do that, but it won't be good.
That's good.
And so there's a level that you have to compromise, sliding scales when it comes to housing of, all right, I really want that house. Either it's going to take more time to get the house that I want, or I can do it faster, but I'm going to have to go 30 minutes into the next county, and it might be a condo instead of the single-family home.
Right.
And it might need a few upgrades that I have to make a few years from now because it doesn't have the kitchen that I wanted with the backsplash. And so we talked about this on Smart Money Happy Hour in our first episode about how HGTV ruined a generation.
They ruined our lives
because the expectations are just
houses could look like.
Yeah, and now we're like everyone hated their house after watching Chip and Jo make a house beautiful.
I know.
Like I want to do that. And so there's a level of patience that we need, resetting expectations, and on top of that, she's asking how do I accelerate my savings? And me and my wife, we did this when buying our first home, which the Nashville area is super expensive. We live in one of the wealthiest counties in the nation here in Williamson County, Tennessee, and we decided, all right, we're going to get a townhome for our first home. We don't need a giant single-family home for just the two of us.
Yep.
And so we did that. We increased our income. I was taking on side jobs. I was building websites. I was hosting outside events. I was doing all kinds of things just to bring in extra income to save up for that down payment. We did no spend months. We cut a lot of luxuries and subscriptions and things that we would have loved to do as a newlywed couple, but we went, you know what? The house is a priority over that vacation. And those are the kinds of things you have to really grapple with in order to have the things you want.
Yep, for sure. It took Winston and I close to a decade, almost 10 years, to get to the point that we're like, okay, we're going to upgrade to the next home. And it was a long goal. It was a long goal that we knew, and even toward the end, we weren't quite where we wanted. So yeah, we were cutting stuff. I was taking on any kind of speaking thing I could. Yeah, I was saying yes to everything. So
there's a kind of gazelle intensity to it.
Of that, yes, toward the end, which was great because we needed it, and that's what we wanted. That was our goal. But here's the thing too, George, is it's not worth having a home. It feel for someone that's looking. Mostly for your first-time home buyers. Again, we want you to get to that place where you can own a home because it's just smart financially. But it looks so glamorous from the outside, and when people make a bad financial move into something they can't afford, I would say the mental health, the stress, the anxiety, it offsets what you thought this house was going to be and how great it was. It's like, oh my gosh, I would rather go back to where we were and rent and not have the stress that we have now. And so there's a give and take there when you go and you move into something you can't afford. It doesn't create a glamorous experience.
Here's the big takeaway. You can tweet this, Rachel.
Thank you, George.
Home ownership is not the antidote to your lack of happiness. It's not. Wow. It's not going to be there because home ownership has a lot of costs, and on top of that, most people that do it prematurely, they're also in debt in other areas. So now you have the car payment, you have the student loans, you have the credit cards, you have your buy now, pay later.
And then let me say this on the emotional contentment side, George. You take you with you into the new house too.
Wow. Rachel is ice cold today, and we love to see it.
And there's something about it because I went through this too where I was like, I just want a different kitchen. Life would just be better if we had a bigger kitchen. I had all these thoughts.
No, life would be better if you went to therapy and got control of your marriage. How about that, America?
And so then I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, but like your life, it's still you moving in. Even if it's a bigger kitchen, it's still all that discontentment that you have in other parts of your life too. So it's not the end all be all.
Well, Rachel, there's a hilarious TikTok out there that I think sums up the frustration that America's feeling. Do you want to see it?
I would love to see it.
Okay, let's roll that.
How is any young person ever going to own a home? It's maybe hate old people. I see a few of you in here tonight. I hate you. Because every old person in a city like LA or New York or London is the same. They're like, my house is worth $2 million, but when I bought it in 1981, I paid 11 raspberries for it. And every young person's like, I have 9 roommates! We each pay $11,000 a month. Every single one of us is a lawyer except for Ted. And every single old person's like, I'm a librarian with a home at the beach.
Oh my goodness. While it's an exaggeration, that is hilarious.
That is funny because there's some truth
to
that. Yes.
Well, a lot of the pressure is coming from parents who, by the way, raise their kids to go follow your passions at all costs and go $300,000 into the student loan debt. And then they're like, why are you married? Why don't you have a house yet? Where are the grandkids? Give us and they're like, dude, I can't even breathe. I can't get to next week, let alone buy a house. And so this doesn't just fall. This is not to blame a generation. This is to go, listen, we've made some mistakes. We have to accept responsibility, and we have to accept the reality that home prices are insane. Now what are we going to do?
That's right.
What's next?
And having options. That's another thing. And you can add college on top of this, the tuition, how insane it's gotten. I mean, all of it. So all this stuff has. And so what it does, it forces you to look and say, okay, what is the wisest route? Because it's not just like, oh, you have to own a home tomorrow or you have to go get a college degree, right? Like it's not that black and white anymore. It's like, okay, what can I afford in this moment? Where do I want to be in 5 years, right? And so working towards something as well.
Yes.
But it is.
And
it's hard.
Guess what? I have to get out of debt first and have an emergency fund and then save up the down payment. And yes, that might be 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now. But when you get there, you're going to have a peace about it. You did it with intentionality. No regrets. Right, Rachel?
George.
It will never die.
God bless you. God bless you, my friends.
As we've been doing this millionaire research, one of the pieces of data that we've discovered is by studying 10,000 millionaires that the average millionaire drives a 4-year-old car with 41,000 miles on it, and of course it's paid for, and they haven't had car payments in decades, which is how they became a millionaire, because the average car payment now is over $500, about $504 a month over 84 months. If you invest $504 from age 30 to age 70, you'll have somewhere around $5 million in your Roth IRA. I hope you like your car. Our advice knowing that cars lose 60 to 70% of their value in the first 4 years, is to buy a quality used car. Unless you have a net worth in excess of $1 million, then if you want to buy a new car, you can afford to take the loss on it. But the worst car accidents do happen on the showroom floor. Well, Dave, I'm always worried about buying a used car. Well, what are you driving? If you're driving a car that you bought 2 months ago, it's now a used car. If you're driving a car you bought 5 years ago, it's a used car. What are you driving? Listen, the vehicle quality is so high now that we get 300,000 miles out of a car. Most of these cars run and run and run and run and run if you have to take care of them. So, don't buy a new car unless you've got a net worth in excess of $1 million. Now, how do you negotiate the best deal on your car? Well, the same way you do a lot of things. There's a couple of keys to negotiating. One is he with the most knowledge wins. So study. Learn about that car. Go on Trader.com. Go on Kelley Blue Book and Edmunds.com and look up stuff about the car. Google the car. Read articles about the car. Look at different versions of the car, different packages that are on the car. The luxury package, the standard package, the 2-door, the 4-door, the different engines that are in that particular car. Learn all about a Honda Civic if you're going to buy a Honda Civic. Learn. People impulse a big purchase like a car. That makes you stupid. You don't impulse that. You study that. And then pay cash, of course. Now, most of the time paying cash means that you are doing a bank transfer. But sometimes you can walk in with the cash and just lay it on the table. It's not that much money. I mean, $7,000, $10,000, $15,000, whatever. It kind of blows a dealer's mind. But certainly if you're buying from an individual, when you put cash on the table, it says we have a deal. It doesn't say, oh, I need to check with my banker. You ever sold a car on Craigslist? I need to check with my banker, and then you never hear from them again. I'll take it, but my banker will do it, and never hear from them again. But when you lay cash on the table, there's no, I need to check with my banker in there. It's a done deal, baby. It's locked in, right? And listen, don't get married to one car. Be prepared to walk away. Listen, when you bought something emotionally, even the most inept seller recognizes the body language changes. I mean, you guys know when somebody's bought something, right? Even though they haven't done the deal. The negotiation's over once they know you're married. I'm married. I have to have this car. So just be quiet. Let them talk, the seller, that is. Tell them, you've looked this car up. You've studied a lot. This seems a little high. And then be quiet. Let them talk. You can negotiate online. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can have the car inspected. And a good thing to do, too, is check with one of our endorsed local providers on the insurance side and find out what it costs to insure that car. You might be looking at one $7,000 car that's almost twice as much to insure as another $7,000 car. So you can get a quote from one of them, or on your existing cars, jump in there and get a quote from the ELP. Most people that get a quote from our ELPs because they're brokers, they shop among a bunch of different people and they get the best possible deal. They save like $700. That's the average. So, and 1 in 3 drivers, 33% of you buy your insurance and you don't shop your insurance before you buy it. That's just dumb. It's an expensive thing, just like not shopping the car before you buy it. That's dumb. Don't do that. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I'm having a problem. I make decent money at my job, but I can't seem to save. It doesn't matter if I try, separate accounts that aren't connected to my checking account. Mm-hmm. And I just cannot seem to save money to have an emergency fund, to pay off debts.
What happens? You transfer it over there and then you end up just peeping back in there and sneaking the money out?
Yeah. I just keep dipping into it, whether it's for something important or just something that I want that's not important. I just can't seem to, connect the dots between saving and not using it. And
all right, Leo. So I got a question. I'm asking this on behalf of my friend here. If we were following you around with a documentary crew for a week, what would be the top items that you're spending, the type of things you're blowing money on, you're spending the money on. If we're following you around, we'd go, oh, Leo, he's spending money on this. Give us a top 5, just off the top of your head.
Oh, it's gas station, energy drinks, hunting supplies, things that I don't need.
All right, okay. That was good. That's a good list. Anything else?
Not really. When I was younger, it was before I had kids and real responsibilities. It was I'll make more money tomorrow, and I've kind of carried that over now, and I can't seem to get away from that.
Trying to out-earn bad spending habits.
I got to ask another follow-up, Leo. If I'm following you, all right, and we're in the gas station parking lot, and we're zooming in on the doors, and you're busting out of that thing, what do you got in the arms? What do you got in the old bag at the gas station? I'm curious.
Oh, I already know.
Usually it's 2 to 3 energy drinks. Maybe a snack for work and a can of tobacco.
Dip, corn nuts, Mountain Dew, right in it.
Oh, man, that's disgusting. Say it's not true, Leo.
Oh, it be so.
Oh, it is. Unfortunately.
I got to tell you, if I was on a desert island and the only thing I had was a bag of corn nuts,
listen, corn
I'd
nuts
starve.
slap.
I'd starve. I really would. I'd die.
They're actually delicious.
So let's
they
help the
smell
man out with his budget,
Okay,
Jade.
so I think I heard you say you had kids. Is that right?
Yes.
How many? 4? Okay, and you're married still?
I'm not.
You're not. Okay.
We are dating. We are together. We live in the same house, but we have not gotten married yet.
Okay, so you have a woman that you're soon to marry. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the money first, and then we'll go back to the relationship, because we're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
4 kids.
Okay, so first off, what you really need, I think the solution here is a good detailed budget. I always say that budgets should be 3 things: detailed, realistic, and flexible. And that will really help you out, because I think what's happening, like you said, you're kind of spending the money before you get it. And it's like, I can out earn this. I can out earn this. And if you don't, then you end up having to pull back out that savings. So we'll make sure that you get set up with every dollar. And what I want you to do, I want you to sit down and create your budget. And I want you to be so detailed about all the things that you spend money on, even the energy drinks. If you know that's something that's part of your life right now as it sits, put it on the budget. If you know, hey, like I buy a hunting knife at least once a month, put it on the budget. Like, be realistic and honest with who you are in your spending so that you can begin to see, okay, I see what's going on here, right? So that's a good place to start. And then obviously, the same way that you're budgeting for all of the other things, you budget for things like savings, and you can actually see, do I have money to put aside in savings? Can I live the lifestyle I'm living and still have money to put aside in savings? Right now, it seems as though the answer is no, but when you do the budget, you're really going to get a clear picture of what's going on. So that's thing 1. Thing 2, I haven't even asked you about debt yet. Do you have any debt?
We have two vehicles that I pay for, and I have maybe $2,000 of credit cards that I'm slowly working on paying off.
Okay, so putting everything into perspective, right now, if you do find extra money in your budget after you've budgeted for everything, right now the money wouldn't necessarily go towards savings. You'd save up $1,000 and that's it. If you can get $1,000 and just set it aside, tuck it aside for a rainy day, that's great. Everything else needs to go towards paying off this debt. Okay. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room with the relationship, because
I don't know why Mama's not paying for her car. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Well, I don't understand why Mama's not married.
That don't go to school.
Well, I'm with you on that. I'm as traditional as they get.
Why aren't you guys just married yet?
And it's 100% my fault. I want to give her everything that I possibly can, wedding wise. Like, I want it to be the wedding of her dreams.
Yeah.
And with the money situation, I am not to that point where I'm comfortable spending that money on something like that.
I hear that.
So it's me holding back. She's pushing for it, which I have no problem doing it, but I want it to be everything she wants. I don't want her to have to hold back on something.
Listen,
because we don't have the money for it.
I 100% honor the idea that you want to give her a wonderful wedding party. But I want you guys to frame that as that's what it is. It's a celebration. It's a party. You can get married legally and don't nobody have to know but you guys. And then you're at least protected legally.
Huh? she's been looking into that through the courthouse and things like that.
How about this? How about you guys just get married, and then you can throw a celebration years from now, or you can rededicate your vows, and she can put on the dress. I mean,
spoiler alert: everybody is married before their wedding day. Everyone. The moment you get the document.
Oh.
The moment you go and sign the document.
Boy, you had me there for a second. I was like,
So the idea that it's like, no, I want to wait until the day. I'm like, we all get married on paper a week or so before we're actually married.
That's right.
So it's not even like, we make it more of a thing than it is. So I think for you guys, it's like, get married on paper. That way you can do all the things we just talked about with your wife.
Yeah.
That sounds nice, doesn't it?
Okay. It does.
It does sound nice.
Yeah.
And then you guys can save up for this wonderful party. Right. You can do all of it.
How much do you think you're spending a month in energy drinks, bro?
Oh,
I got a plan here.
It's usually about $10 a day.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do 30 days in a month. All right. That's $300.
Ooh,
okay.
My guy is Ric Flair on those energy drinks.
I'm telling you, man, you need to get rid of the energy drinks. That's a $300 a month raise. Do some push-ups, some pull-ups. All right. Get some good night's sleep. You won't need an energy drink. I don't need an energy drink. I wake up with the juice, man. Okay? I'm just telling you.
Ken. I drink a little bit of coffee.
But that's like 2 cups max.
That's
the
a lot of
energy
coffee.
drinks, 2 cups?
All right.
Not energy drinks. Those are horrible.
Those are the taurine.
But I'm not getting on your health. I'm actually saying $300 a month. I wanted you to see quickly how you just changed your life.
That's a big deal.
That's a big raise for you. True or false?
True.
You can get rid of the energy drinks. Mm-hmm. Don't get me started on the tobacco.
I'm slowing down on that.
Good.
I know.
You got 4
very
kids.
much so.
And that's why I didn't bring it up. I am trying to actually be sensitive. I get that one's harder to kick than the energy drinks.
If you do this budget, I think you're going to be astonished. And especially when you share it with your new wife, since you guys are getting married this weekend, I think you're both going to be astonished. And there's something about seeing your behavior on paper written out that you go, oh, like you clutch your pearls. You're like, I can't believe I've been spending my hard-earned money on this when I could have this.
Right.
And so what you could have is what you and your wife, when the time comes, you need to be dreaming that up together.
You're giving all this great financial advice. I'm trying to help him, but in a different category.
Yeah.
You're my friend. You are Mrs. Clean Eater.
Give
him some. No, you do a great job.
Thank you.
Give him a healthy snack instead of the chips at the gas station. What's he taking to the office for a snack? Come on.
Ken, I'm glad you asked this. Let me tell you what I'm on right now.
I knew you would like it.
I take a Granny Smith apple. And
I love a Granny Smith. Sour.
I slice it up, right? Yeah. So we got slices. Then I get a little
Tell me it's peanut butter.
Jar of peanut butter. It's not just that.
We are separated at birth. I know we look like it.
Wait, I'm getting more. Hemp seeds. So I go apple into the peanut butter, into the hemp seeds, salted caramel.
I don't know if I need to be that chilled out at work.
Just a little bit of salted caramel. It is so good.
Is the hemp seed going to knock his intensity off?
No, hemp seeds they're a complete protein. They're really high in protein. They're delicious.
I'm learning something new every day. There it is, Leo. There's your healthy snack, man. We just saved you more money.
Yeah, man.
No more
Put it in the cup
nuts.
holder.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
All right, up next we have Larry in Evansville. Hey, Larry, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call today. How you doing?
We're doing great. How can we help?
So, I'm recently found you guys, and I'm really trying hard to figure out budgeting type things. I grew up in a family that, didn't really care about it, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I've looked at every dollar, and I'm just overwhelmed with things. Like, I try and budget, and then something comes up, and it's just very overwhelming, and it's just, I'm to the point of, I'm tired of, living every paycheck to paycheck, and, the next week I'm broke, and it's just hard. And I just need help budgeting. I need to figure out, where do I start?
What's the problem right now when you say I feel broke? Are there too many bills after your paychecks show up?
So what happened is, a couple of years ago, I did some bad things. I got addicted to some things after an accident I had, and I screwed up our family. And when I did that, it made a lot of debt for my family. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
And I'm trying to get out of it. And I try so hard. I work, 65 hours a week, And it's just, I don't know. I honestly can't tell you exactly where it's going. You know, I am paying down the debt that I'm doing, but then also, you know, car repairs come up. My kids need something.
Yeah. Yeah. How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
How old are they?
2, 5, and 8.
Wow. So you guys have been through a lot, Larry, for over the last. How long has this journey been for you guys? And are you sober now?
I've been sober for over a year now.
Okay.
A great guy from Boston, you know, took me up there and helped me out. And
yeah,
it's just the last 6 years before that, you know, I was working, but I'd leave the job because, you know, something would happen or I wouldn't go to work, and, you know, I'd get behind on things, and, you know, I'd say, oh, I'll push this off for now, and it's all just coming back to haunt me, and I'm trying so hard to budget money.
Okay, so tell me this, Larry. How much do you guys make in a year, just household income?
So my wife makes about 30, about 28 before taxes. And then me, you know, I just started back working about a year ago, and this past year I made about 51, you know, consistent staying, you know, with the same employer.
That's great. What do you do?
I work in home health care. I work with like mentally handicapped individuals.
Okay.
It's something I've loved for a while.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So you guys are making around 81,000. And what debt do you guys have?
So we have a car that got repoed a couple years ago that I because of me, that I'm working to pay off just to, you know, get that out of there.
Yeah.
We got my wife's car now that, you know, we had to have because we had to have reliable transportation for her.
Mm-hmm. How much is that? How much is that?
It's about 8 right now.
8,000. Okay. And how much is it that you're repaying for the repossession?
About 14.
Okay.
I had bought it for about 16, but I owed 14 and, you know, just basically stopped paying.
Yeah. Okay. So the 2 cars. What else?
And then we have combined between like just little loans that we tried to get by. You know, and loans to family, we have about, you know, 15 there.
Okay.
You know, and then medical debt, we have about 6,000, but I'm trying to get some assistance from like their financial aid there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that's just a process of trying to get that figured out right now.
For sure.
Anything else? Any credit card debt? Student
so
loans?
That's in with like the 15, you know, there's some credit cards, which is about, you know, 1,500 of it.
Okay.
The rest is loans to like family, little loans just here and there that, you know, I thought would, you know, get me by to where I need to be. And then I found you guys and, you know, realized that like there's something I'm doing wrong. And, you know, I finally built up the courage and then also the embarrassment that I have to, you know, call you guys and, you know, just figure it out. And
yeah,
I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I think you've won probably the hardest battle. Money is nothing compared to fighting and becoming sober and walking that whole journey, Larry. So if you can do that, you can do this. Okay. So just hear me say that. It's an amazing thing when people find freedom in one area of their life. It seems like it opens up the door in other areas that they long for that same level of peace and freedom, you know, that you've found in that part of your life. And now that's transferring to your money, and money, you know, was and is possibly in the present still a stressful place, but we want to be able to walk with you and give you just some peace for a plan, you know? And I think it's one of those things too, Larry, that it can carry a lot of shame and a lot of guilt, because the hard thing with money is that you see the numbers of the past that stay with you, and you have to, you know, face those and figure out what to do. But just know what you've done in this last year. You can do this. Like, you guys together can do this process. Is your marriage in a good spot? You and your wife, are you guys on the same team, just at least from the financial standpoint, that you guys are wanting to work a plan together?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot, and she just, you know, not the best with math, so she leaves it up to me, and I don't want to, you know, stress her out too much, but,
yeah.
You know, I talked to her about it, but I'm just still ashamed of it to, you know, talk too much.
Okay. Okay. So, what I would suggest as we start working through the budget is I do want her to be involved, and she doesn't have to be the one that, is all excited about it and like gets in there every day and all the things. But I want you guys to be in a constant communication and be on the same team, because that's going to help with these day-to-day things. Because if the kids pipe up and want something, there's a good chance you guys are going to look at them and say the famous words I always heard growing up: it's not in the budget. It's not in the budget. Like, there's going to be times that you guys as a family are going to have to make some hard decisions to make these numbers work. And that's part of the process, right? That you're learning how to do this and define margin. So in every dollar we talk about, and you said you've walked through it, but your income minus those expenses equaling zero. And we have on Every Dollar Premium, which we'll give you after this call, if you don't have that one already, it's our paid subscription part of Every Dollar. But what's so great is they have a paycheck planning application within it. And so what ends up happening, Larry, we find that what's difficult is you plan out your month and you say, okay, we're going to spend, $600 on groceries. But then all of a sudden the mortgage or the rent hits, the electricity bill, like how all the bills are lined up, one paycheck of the first isn't going to cover it all, right? And
you run out of money before those bills are paid.
That's
and so
right.
It'll help you figure that out.
Yeah, and it feels like you're broke in that sense. And so what the paycheck planning part of Every Dollar does is it's able to show you, hey, here's where you're getting close to the red. So what can you rearrange in your budget to make sure that paycheck goes as far as you need it to go, with some cushion even till you're paid again on the 15th or however often you're paid. And so that money then is going to be able to take you through it. And then there is a goal, Larry, I would say, from budgeting, at least for me, George, is that you're kind of a paycheck ahead. So you always have that cushion. So instead of using the money that just hits your account, you're kind of using the money from the paycheck before even, just to give you some breathing room to not feel like, oh my gosh, our account is getting down to zero, right? And so that may take a few paycheck cycles to get in that place. But do you guys have any money saved at all? Do you have an emergency fund?
No.
Okay.
I've been trying, and anytime I do it and then, something comes up, and
yeah, what are the things that are coming up? You've mentioned that a few times. What are those kind of things?
Just at the beginning of the school year, my son, has gained weight and lost a lot of weight, and, so we had to buy him a whole new, wardrobe of clothes. And his mother, who is not my wife currently, there's just a lot of, stuff going on there. Like she, I feel like sometimes I have to replace her because she's chose other people over him. And, I try and overcompensate. I'm not going to lie to nobody.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get past that, but
yeah,
I hate seeing the way he's broken because of it. And
yeah,
it's just messing with me. So
yeah, which is very understandable. I mean, I see that, and we see that a lot with families, that there is that overcompensation of buying things for kids or wanting that. And I'll tell you, Larry, though, at the end of the day, what he needs and what he wants is love and acceptance from the people in his life, and that's you. And so, yeah. I mean, and so that is something that you are going to have to be the adult in those situations and say, that this toy is not going to be the thing that brings him lasting joy and acceptance and love. Like it's just not. And so knowing that, even though it is so easy just to run to stuff and buy stuff to make someone feel good for a moment, there will be a boundary there. So I think that there's going to be a level of discipline that you and your wife, I want you to get on the same page with her and say, okay, once we do this budget, it's done. And the kids are going to ask, stuff is going to come up, and we have to say no. We have to stick to this because I want you to get $1,000 quickly. If you guys don't have any money saved, even getting a starter emergency fund of $1,000, it's going to free you up. And as you go through Every Dollar, again, those are places where you're going to be able to say in categories, okay, we used to spend this much and not to eat. We're not doing that. And we're putting that aside here. Like you really do sit there and take things away, lower those expenses. And then for you, if there is a way to up some income for this season, I think it's one of the best things that you could do just to bring in some extra money to get that $1,000 and then start working your way through this debt and working your way to pay this debt off. And I mean, there is hope in this. I mean, we get these calls all the time,
You
Larry.
make 80 and you owe 43. This is a very fixable problem, and it might take 2 years, but we can get out of this. So
that's right.
Tactical things, Larry. You can add a miscellaneous category to the budget for some ankle biters. You can also print out your bank statement, and that way you'll see a real picture of what was spent in the last few months. That's going to help with this budget as well.
Yeah, and give it 3 months, Larry. I mean, we're in February, March, April. Give it April, May, okay? Don't give up. Keep sticking with it. But hold on the line. Austin will pick up. We're going to give you Financial Peace University, our 7-lesson course on money, and Every Dollar Premium. Just to make sure that you guys have the knowledge that you need as you start this journey. We're cheering for you.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.